right now. Let's see. We'll put. I gotta get this going here. Let's see.
All right, we're doing a show like this. This is how we're doing tonight.
Start. There we go. All right, I believe that we're feeding out to the folks out there. Oh, we got Chromie V joining us. There he goes. Look at that, Chromie V. I totally won't take this and make an AI generated thing out of it.
Yeah, there you go. Who's that?
Yeah, he likes making faces now. That's his thing. All right, so yeah, you guys are joining us live on Player, in case you don't know, so we can shoot us. There's gonna be we're gonna have bullpups. You might as well get ready for that today. We're gonna talk about bullpups because we have the dudes from Reap Weaponries here on the show. But just so everyone knows, I know you've heard it a lot of times already, YouTube will not let us hold guns. So when we go live on Player. You can look for us if you're listening to this on audio or you're watching it later. We do put this up on YouTube. Just go to Player/Who Moved My Freedom podcast. That's the way to find us. All right, I think all of that being said, I am going to hit the button and get this kicked off right now.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation, Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Franklin Armory. Franklin Armory provides 100% US-made firearms and awesome binary option triggers. Their focus and purpose is to provide freedom tools to all Americans, especially those in not-so-free states. So when you're in the market, please consider Franklin Armory. All right, here we go. I think that I'm going to say that Chromie V is our youngest host ever.
Probably is.
To be here on the show. We are live. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on. This is episode 1001. 1001 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. We do this thing here, guys, called Jazz Hands. Everyone has to do it. Come on, Ben, Colton. You got to do the Jazz Hands. We're taking it back from the terrorists. There you go. We are live. It's FreeForAll Monday. Our guests are Ben and Colton of Reap Weaponries, makers of the, what do you call it? Is it the SCY? The SCY, which is a Bullpup Adapter for an AR-15. Walter is showing one off here, right here. There you go. You can show it off, Walter. This is the one that we're working on. We bought this. We waited for an excellent deal to actually show up, but and I think I shared that with everyone. There was a deal going on. So there you go. So welcome, Ben, Colton, first time. What's up, guys?
Not a lot. Just kind of hanging out, ready to get on the podcast and see how things are going for you guys.
All right, awesome. So, tell well, actually, let me continue doing the introductions and then we'll get into all of that. We also have joining us BabyFace P. Here he goes, and Chromie V.
Yeah, we got a bit of a segue tonight. Normally, we'd be. Yeah, you tell them. We are. Mommy is working until 7:45, so we will be cooking and or playing, just like that, until she gets home.
Yeah. Have you gotten headbutted yet?
Plenty of times.
Oh, okay,
right in the chin. Most of the time, he gets me right in the chin.
Yeah, okay. All right, there you go. And, of course, Walter of Safety Harbor Firearms is also joining us. Walt, what's up?
Howdy. Oh, just another manic Monday.
Absolutely. Yes, a bunch of stuff to talk about. So, like I said, we do have Ben and Colton here of Reap Weaponries. And we should, just to be official, I think we'll at least let these guys tell us who they are, how they got into the gun world, making the SCY. Right, yep. There you go. I keep wanting to say Sky, but that's because,
It's just a shortened name of Scythe.
Yeah. Scythe. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So tell us about yourselves, who you guys are, where are you, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm Colton. I'm the owner of Reap Weaponries, and we are based out of central Minnesota. I am a 6th generation dairy farmer, and kind of guns was always a hobby for me, and did a lot of coyote hunting, and kind of got on the path of doing a lot more stuff with ARs and hunting coyotes, and getting a lot more into the tactical space, and kind of had some ideas, and it kept me up at night for a couple weeks, and I finally just decided to pursue and push and kind of make something happen out of it. So here we are, kind of a dream we're chasing right now.
Okay, awesome. That's American ingenuity.
Where are you from? One more time. What state? What great state?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Is it Minnesota?
Yeah.
Oh, you just want to hear that?
I just wanted to hear it.
Yeah, so we totally will absolutely make fun of you, Minnesota.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Might have to search for it. It's not too thick with us.
Yeah, no, you guys are not too bad. No, that's cool. I'm a fan of farmers. We've had farmers here on the show, in the past, and yeah, good old American ingenuity, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing this now?
Reap Weaponries?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we kicked off at SHOT 23 last year. It was kind of our first time coming out of the gate, and we've been kind of pushing all year since, and getting ready for 24 again here now, and heading back to SHOT. But it's still our first year, so kind of in our infancy yet, and really trying to make something out of it and keep pushing.
Okay. All right. And just in case you guys don't know what we're talking about here, let me see. I'm gonna pull up my phone and then share. We did get a T&E in. That's what I'm handling right now. And I shot it. BabyFace also shot it. I'll have a different short, but this is a short that's on YouTube. Hank Strange, YouTube/Hank Strange. Here.
Yeah, we shot it.
Yeah.
And I had some recommendations, which I think one is Hank's fault, the other is possible.
Oh, a lot of stuff is my fault. So here you go.
Well, yeah. So the optics are too low, and that's Hank's fault. The other thing is, have you guys tried that? I'm just jumping straight in, but have you guys tried that one there with a piston instead of gas operated?
We have not with that one.
Oh man, see that was my only thought, was it blows gas right in your face.
Yep, the descent has always been a really gassy option that we were running.
It's such a smooth upper and a fast shooting, but yeah, it blows gas straight in your face. I mean,
my only thought was a piston on the front of that instead of gas in your face would be perfect.
Yeah. Now, so that's
really the only gassy upper that we've gotten out of trying all the different bufferless options. A lot of stuff. The FM15 was spectacular, and the BRN was spectacular as far as that's concerned. We had really good luck with that. It's just we haven't had a lot of time behind the descent hugely, because we kind of just got that in, and we're doing some testing of our own, and then this came up and you guys wanted to test it, so we shot it down there in a hurry. But we're still kind of ironing out a few things with that system.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we kind of played with it.
I chose the CMMG descent. I did. See, look, check it out. See,
okay.
I drank the CMMG Kool-Aid. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this.
No, I never have.
They gave this away at IV 8888 last year, which I didn't go, but I got one anyway. I'm going. Yeah, Walt's going this year, but Mike from CMNG they've been on the show, all that kind of stuff. I wanted to try it out. This is like, do you guys want to explain what kind of system's in here? Because it's not a normal direct impingement, right? It's like compact impingement or something. Someone want to explain that to me?
The upper?
Yeah, the upper, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was like a roller delayed blowback system.
Oh, is that the roller system?
Yeah.
Is that what's in? Okay. So when I looked them up, they said that it's the, what is it, compact? I think I told you guys exactly what it was when I looked it up.
Is it called the Descent?
Yes. Yeah, it's the Descent. So
bufferless AR features patent pending compact action, non-reciprocating handle, blah blah blah. Let me see. I'll figure it out. I'll let you know in a second.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know
not 100% sure. We've gone through a lot of different uppers, but that's what comes to mind on that one.
Yeah, as I say, we had a lot of people asking about it and asking fitment questions, so we just popped one in the cart, ordered it up, got it here, and started shooting, and we never asked too many questions.
Yeah. It's one of the radial delays. So it's the new radial delay. Got it. Okay, that's interesting. I've actually, funny enough, wanted to try the radial delay system, and I never. So now I have.
Yeah. So
I will admit. Sorry, I'm jumping in. I will admit fully that, and I told Hank, very smooth recoil. So yeah, that radial delay goes well on that really short little package. It was really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that there were some people who said that it looked like it had a lot of recoil. It may have looked like that, but it didn't feel like that. That's just one thing. And what it's called is compact action direct impingement. and there is a video on it that I could bring up here. Also, I didn't, this came with it, Babyface.
The primary arms.
Yep. Yeah, the primary arms. I mean, I could take this.
I
could take this off before I send it back and just keep it. And not send it back to these guys.
You need a riser.
Yeah,
I was telling Hank is it needs a riser.
And we're looking at different accessories to go with it, whether it's to bring the optic higher or mount things differently too. So
try the 193 height that everybody is so in favor of right now. It probably would be a really good one for that.
Yeah, so I'm rolling in some video here from CMMG of exactly what it's actually pretty cool. It's lighter than I thought it would be, right?
Hank, they're not CMMG, right? We're not here to talk about the CMMG.
I know, but we're talking about the upper. What, guys? You guys don't want to talk about the upper? Is that what?
No, we're good. It's all part of it. We're good.
Yeah, I think they're totally fine talking about. Yeah, I think they're totally fine. Here's the video of the upper operating for the people who want. Babyface wants to be the only know-it-all. He doesn't want anyone else to know about anything or discover anything.
Throw something in there that probably works just as well or better as the FM Products 102. Foxtrot mic. I mean that's a real light recoiling system too. Which you haven't shot. I don't think you've shot that yet, Hank. You haven't shot the one.
I can't remember if I did or didn't. I know you're working. You're working on it.
Yeah, it should drop.
Walter,
right
I'm looking at a picture. It looks like an AR bolt that's been cut in half.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Weird Listen, thing. I think this was interesting. I thought this was interesting. I thought it was. I didn't realize that there was a system.
If you go to like the Deadfoot Arms, this is our stave, or did I pronounce that right? I always butcher that. But it's basically Deadfoot Arms stock without the adjustment rails put on. And this is a shortened bolt with a twin spring system in here. So it only adds 2.5 inches to the back of the gun.
Very interesting thoughts. I like that. No rails, no nothing. That's clever.
And then you can this just twists off the back to load in the because it's a bigger diameter spring and a smaller diameter spring. I guess I don't know how to pull that up on here, but if you look it up, it's basically a larger diameter and a smaller, and they go inside of each other to still give you that the spring tension you need, whilst keeping it very short. And I think they make it in a 4.5 inch configuration as well.
Yeah, that's Deadfoot's patented system that they run, and they have it as there's a 4-inch system that runs a standard size bolt, any bolt drop in, regular AR bolt, and then if you want to get shorter, they have the cut bolt option.
How close?
2.5.
How close is that, Walter, to that little stubby that you have? That's a completely different thing, right?
Yeah, I make something similar to that. For my compact entry stocks, but and I make a pistol buffer thing, but it's not 2.5 inches. It's more in the order of the 4.
Yeah. So I think that's the cool. I don't know. To me, that's the cool part of this, right? You can make so many different configurations of this. Someone said this looked like something from one of the video games. I forgot exactly what now. I'd have to go and look at the actual video and look at the comments there and tell you guys. But that's the thing here. You've got the freedom to kind of build whatever you want to, as long as it's on an AR-15 lower, right?
It's a super modular platform, and you can really cater it to exactly what you want to use it for and what's comfortable for you. As far as length and what caliber you want, it's rated for up to 50 Beowulf, so it'll take anything you can throw at it.
Yeah. So I think that's probably. So Walter, before we started, I know you had some questions. Did you want to jump into your questions that you have right now?
I just had a question to ask the guys. Do you plan on making I'm gonna hold this thing up here, a special cheek piece instead of just using? Yeah, because this what is on what Hank has is not really designed as a cheek piece. That's it's
here's one from Troy. This is just an off the shelf rail cover, but you can see it doesn't.
It doesn't wrap.
It doesn't wrap around real nice, and it's gonna have to be made out of something softer so it can cater to more uppers than just one. But it is definitely something we're looking into.
both of you guys are bearded, so you got to only go so soft before it's a hair puller. So,
right.
Like, you ever shot the high point carbine, and they've got a rubber piece on that, and that thing is like, like
yeah, the plastic they use on there too is very grippy. Yeah, so something like that would be cool. Some kind of recoil system, or like a recoil butt pad or something. I guess the problem is what everyone's using, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Because, I mean, for us to get we've talked about making a rubber butt pad for our sickle and the stave as like an option that you could screw on if you need it. I mean, 5.56 doesn't really recoil that bad, but I can see where people would want it, you know. But when you get into higher calibers, it becomes more necessary, you know.
We make stocks for the MP5, and I've had some people ask, can you make a rubber butt pad for the MP5 stock? And I'm like, I feel like saying, you pussy. It ain't got no recoil. But hey, you know, that's like people would say the SKS has a lot of recoil and stuff like that. It's like, really? What planet are you from? I mean, it's like, come on, man.
I think everyone's dealing with recoil in different ways depending on who they are. You know,
so we need a recoil pad for the 22, yes, because I feel threatened. Yes.
Yeah. Now, just to look at when Patrick is showing the his 22, just to show the comments I got on there, right? Someone says Hank's in heaven with the bullpup. Okay, that looked like it recoiled a lot, which it really didn't feel that way. Someone asking about how does it run suppressed? We can get into some of that. People asking about the buffer system. And someone says Halo Reach DMR pretty badass. I wish I knew about video games. Does it look like a Halo Reach type of thing?
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
With a few tweaks, you'd get there.
You're muted, Patrick.
No, it really does. It's pretty similar.
So
that's good.
Yeah, but that's the part of it that you get to do different things that you want to do. My question is, or my comment would be around the two safeties that are on there. So, and by the way, there's tons of videos. If you guys look up Reap Weaponry, as well as there's quite a few YouTubers that have made videos on this. I encourage you guys to look at it. So you've got a forward and a rearward safeties here, right?
Yep.
My question on that is, can I block off the rear or do something like that so I don't have two? Or
So the reason I designed it that way and we kind of went that path is that with people who do have SOTs and are working with being able to have the third option and want a fire selection mode, they're able to use the original safety in the rear to do their fire selection mode. We have K9 officers and different police units that are using the system that require that capability and that use, and then the forward safety is your quick index and your situational quick index safety, just to take it on and off at a faster time.
Okay. Go ahead.
If we were to have one of those, if Hank, like Walters or whatever, we could potentially easily. I actually have the correct rod outside. You could make a safety delete. I don't know if that's a great idea or a terrible idea. I'm 50-50 in my head about deleting the safety on an AR-15 being a good idea. But yeah, I feel like you could do that, but I'm in between of it being a really cool idea and a really, really terrible idea.
Yeah, that's a good question. Is it a good idea or a bad idea to do that?
Well,
what would you
I mean, we trust the front safety, and it's definitely a good lockout system. It's just, legally speaking, I would still leave it in. I mean, it's obviously not a firearm. You can do. That's the great part about this country. You can do what you want to do, but legally speaking, we recommend just leaving it in there and just keeping it around fire and have your forward one as safety.
Yeah, it's always a different manual of arms with a bullpup, so you just get used to it.
I'm one of those that always thinks,
it's a slight change.
If the prosecutor were to hold this up in front of a jury and tell them, hey, he took the safety out of this gun,
You're
probably
done.
wouldn't look very good.
You're done.
Yeah.
To the unwashed masses, you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, to be honest, if you wind up in that situation, they hate you anyway.
That's true.
Right? So,
True.
But yes, you know what? Listen, I think that if I had to answer it just thinking about it, I would say practically. Then yeah, just leave it in. You know, that's the thing. You just need to get used to it. You run into anything, okay, I got 2 safeties. Maybe the other safety's on or something.
This would be a good example of using, or a good place to use one of the crossbolt safeties. There are companies out there that make the crossbolt safety instead of the lever safety. That would be a pretty good idea for a crossbolt, because then it's kind of, you leave it on as long as you want to leave it on, and then you can also come over and pop it off, or vice versa. That might work pretty well.
Yeah. Walt?
As long as you don't need a fun switch, you're all right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, see, now that's a completely different equation.
Well, that's what he brought up before. Some places they want
I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't want to delete the fun
switch.
And then,
if you even so, with Franklin Armory, there's still binary options and stuff out there that we have people running and making it happen. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got a minute. Walt, did you have something else you wanted to show here, or just show what you're building here? I'm full screen on you, Walt, and just tell people in like the 45 seconds what are you up to.
Well, it's a BRN 180 and 300 blackout that Hank acquired. Palmetto State lower. It's a SCY kit, and we got a short barrel on that thing. These things will go away because they're useless on this. You can't use them really on this, the iron sights. They're just on there because I haven't got around to taking them off. But yeah, no, it's definitely a compact little package. Like I said, not for a lefty. Definitely on this thing here. This thing needs a bolt handle that's lower. I don't like having this thing right by my face. Sorry, not me. But anyways,
there are a couple companies that make that too.
Yeah. Walther Arms has been making concealed carry handguns for over 90 years, starting with the PPK. Today, Walther is based in the good old US of A and still builds quality firearms like the PPQ and PDP for personal defense and competition. So when you're in the market, please consider Walther Arms. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Walther Arms. All right, we're back here. So I don't know if anyone has any issues. Let me know if anyone has any issues out there with anything. From my end, it looks like everything is flowing. I'll just do some quick shout outs. I see Flying Rich just came in. 42 Chilled is out there as well. I see Armament and Axes. I would say as you guys come in, just smash the thumbs ups and... I think we're good. I don't know. If there are any issues, let me know. That's the only way. Someone has to put it in the chat or something like that and let me know what is going on. Okay. So, any other questions for these guys? Do you guys want to see some of the builds maybe that these guys have over there? They got guns.
Sure.
Yeah. What do you guys have? Show us some different combos here.
So this is my personal coyote rig. So it's actually a buffered system with the stave short and stock system, 2.5-inch length on the back. Got a Pulsar XP50 on top, running a Rise trigger in it. And then it's a 18-inch Hyperion series from Airborne Arms with their 17-inch handguard, and then their 18-inch Hyperion barrel in stainless, and then a Yankee Hill can on the front. So that's kind of my main coyote gun and what I take out in the wintertime, and kind of what started the whole situation of how we got here today.
Okay, cool. What was it that made you feel like, I gotta have a bullpup configuration of that? I'm not complaining. But
a lot of it was to do with getting in and out of vehicles. You're driving around looking for dogs, and the shorter you can get that thing and the closer you can get it to your body, getting in and out, the quicker you can engage the dog, instead of getting caught up on stuff trying to tote that big gun around. You can get it in a really, really small package. That's obviously an 18-inch barrel, but you can get down to that 26 3/4 mark with a 16-inch barrel, or
go
that.
Very short.
But yeah, it's you can really just storing it in and just toting it around, and when you're walking around, it's not a big gun bouncing around hanging down to your knee,
Yeah, that and kind of move into a suppressed setup, adding all that extra length on the end of the barrel. I wanted to be able to get rid of some on the tail end, shorten things up. I was always a fan of bullpups, but never found one that really quite did it for me. Going between the different styles, I always thought that some either felt too plasticky or there wasn't enough options for aftermarket parts, different situations like that. I was never quite satisfied with triggers, which is kind of everybody's main concern anyways. But there just really wasn't an option, and I wasn't willing to invest some of the higher prices that some of the better ones came with. And I still didn't think that I was getting everything that I wanted out of it for myself personally. And plus I wanted to be able to have some different options for different calibers, different setups. The way we designed the SCY, you can pop just 2 extra takedown pins and switch uppers to a shorter, longer variant, whatever you want to do. There's room to change it up kind of on the fly if you have it built and set up that way. And then the other thing too with it, during longer nights, you go out all night hunting, after a while, all that added weight with suppressors, thermals, all your gear, everything, being able to put it in a bullpup configuration and bring that weight into a further back balance point instead of having so much weight forward for hours definitely was an improvement for us in just what we were doing.
Okay, cool. Does Chromie V have some questions? I see him
he is hungry and tired. Oh, he's going to give you a face about it? He's hungry and tired, and Mommy should be home in 10 or 15 minutes.
No, I'm just teasing. Walt, did you have something you wanted to ask or add?
No, I'm just listening.
Yeah. Okay.
I do have a question. So, did you guys have anything to do with the actual mold making of it, or did you farm that out to someone else?
Good question.
I heard you say you were
You
said you were dairy.
I had
farmer. Is that what I heard?
An engineering firm called Plumsky Engineering and Repair hired that helped out draw and do the modeling, and get everything over to our molding company and get them the right materials that they needed, and they were able to help kind of get the final design down and do the proof of concept and get it sorted out for us.
Yeah, because that's not, if you don't know anything about that, which I'm not saying I do, but if you don't know anything about that stuff, it's like, whoa.
It's a big endeavor.
It gets very wild very quick. That's for sure.
Yeah. How'd that process go for you? I'm always interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it definitely took some time, some brainstorming, a lot of going back and forth, a lot of trial and error, and we had to have the molds kind of recut and rewelded a couple times to get things just where we wanted them. Kind of early on in the beginning, some of our first production run. A few things were off just a little bit. We wanted to improve that. We had a problem right in the beginning that after all was said and done, there was a little bit of tolerance where we couldn't get a Gen 3 PMAG to fit into the lower receiver, which we've since fixed and got that covered. And it was like, that was not what we planned, because we did make one revision from the very beginning to open that well up, but then after everything's done, there's variants and stuff with warp and how plastic works and injection molding that it was just enough that it kind of still bugged, and for some people it bugged and for some it didn't. It was very, very tight.
And it was just the over insertion tab on those PMags basically would just catch on the very back of the mag well, and it was so little that like you said, some of them would be fine, some wouldn't, and
some would drop free and some wouldn't. Is that what?
Well, just inserting, like.
Oh, okay.
As far as insertion goes, some wouldn't even go in because that over insertion tab would catch on the SCY and it wouldn't let you actually get it.
Yeah, so it was too proud, right? It was too
correct.
It was too proud. Able to
because you're dealing with Magpul's tolerances too, in addition to dealing with your tolerances.
Yeah, Magpul tends to be a little bit thicker. Able Defense says, which is a good thing, not complaining about it at all. Able Defense, Mike says, is this about the AR-15 bullpup that people are putting the BRN 180 on? Yes.
Yes, it is.
That's what we're up to. Yeah, Walter's got the BRN 180 there. That process is always interesting. How did you prototype? Did you do like 3D printing or?
Yeah, so we actually had a company that we were kind of working with down by Wilmer that was doing MJF printing, so a little more of a powdered nylon printing, a little higher end 3D printing than just a standard countertop printer. We obviously had a couple renditions that were countertop printed just as a proof of concept, and then as we got the models further along, we went to a higher end and got really basically identical to what they came out with on injection molding, just in a different material. And that's how we kind of got the concept functioning, and we did our initial testing and the round counts and kind of got things, making sure it was strong enough and robust enough to handle what we wanted it to be able to take, and kind of got it from there. And then that's when we went and finalized the injection molds from there.
Okay. So, I don't know if any of the guys have anything else. Patrick?
That's a when it comes down to like, okay, is it shit or get off the pot? Somebody's got to say, okay, let's take a dump and hopefully.
It's scary. It's scary. I mean, it's serious money. It keeps a lot of people. I actually thought so Patrick knew, I guess, and then Lola was like, I knew that thing was polymer, because all the way I was like, oh, this is going to be like CNC'd or something, you know. And I don't know if it was. I think it was either Patrick or Lola. Like, you're an idiot. There's no. How are they going to do those? How are they going to do those?
I didn't realize it was polymer until I picked it up on Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it was.
Yeah. So
that would take days to machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody would buy it at that price tag after all that said. We've got a few requests. A couple guys are like, I'll pay whatever it takes, but I don't know that. I don't even know if the machinists want to try that. So yeah, we'll see.
No, you did the right thing. It's got to be tough, and then obviously, you know, for people who don't understand out there, that stuff costs money. If you're doing this, you got to recover that money, and you know, you need to look at it. And the reason why I'm saying this is that typically it's $4.99, right? Is that the price?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, typically it's $4.99, and there's people out there that are going to complain about that. But I think for what you can do, it's not a bad price. I bought the one that Walther has. I just waited until there was a sale. You know, I mean,
we have them. They happen.
And and obviously there's the military and law enforcement discount. We do give 10% if you're in the military law enforcement field. So.
Yeah, cool. And I would encourage people, like, what I'm trying to do here is help promote these guys. I like to see innovation and stuff like that. So support some dudes who are actually out there building things that don't exist. So, you know, that's the way to look at it, I think.
Another thing we wanted to just say too, as far as price point is concerned, you know, we wanted to bring something in and do this that wasn't a gimmick or wasn't just a range toy. You know, it's reliable and it's robust. We've got over 10,000 round count through multiple of them with no malfunctions. We did our design work and really worked hard to keep things as stout and robust as possible. Our trigger bar is not a thin little rod. It's a CNC machined robust bar. We did our work to keep things as robust as possible, and it takes money to be robust, and that's what we wanted it to, in the end of the day, be a reliable system and not only just do a gimmick. You know, it's a toy, it's fun to take to the range here and there, but it's a reliable system that you won't have to have an issue if you choose to take the step and go down the road of making a bullpup that fits you. We wanted it to hold up to what you were going to do to it.
Yeah, that takes some serious milk money. Able Defense Mike says, Rad, I thought it was metal. Is this a lower or something you put your lower inside?
It's a grip, so it attaches around the lower receiver you already have.
Yeah.
So your
here we
receiver
go.
will go
yeah.
inside.
Okay, hold on. There we go. Boom.
That's cool.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So your lower gets mounted inside of here.
Yeah.
And then the other side goes on, and your trigger bar goes inside.
Yeah. Have you guys done one of these on a polymer lower or like Kevlar? I know in our internal chat we were talking about this. Oh, Walther, you've done it?
No, I tried. It doesn't. That lower that I had doesn't follow the AR forging profile exactly.
Yeah. So it's built. The SCY is built to be mounted with a mil-spec lower receiver. Now, obviously, with a Dremel, you can make a lot of different ones fit. Like if you have a molded-in trigger guard, you can just Dremel out that tab to get that to fit in there. But out of the box, it's designed to work with mil-spec lower receivers with a removable trigger guard.
Okay. All right, cool. Have you guys considered in that vein, since you're already making molds and stuff like that, making your own polymer?
That was going to be my question, is when are we moving straight into a full bullpup to AR lower?
Yeah, good. Yeah, exactly.
That we're unsure of yet. Our next step here is we're obviously we're kind of going down two directions right now. Is with what we're kind of coming up with next is we're doing a AR-10 version, because we've had a lot of requests to be able to do AR-10 and kind of cover the spectrum of AR-10 calibers and cartridges that everybody's looking to do a bullpup with, because this kind of big bore bullpups hasn't really been a hugely touched section of real estate.
Yeah, everyone promises them, but we don't get too many. I think Keltec has it.
Yeah.
And I think what is it?
K&N.
K&N has it. Yeah, Keltec, K&N, and then is it MDR? No, what's the name of that company?
Yeah. Desert Tech.
Desert Tech. Yeah. Desert Tech is very expensive. Yeah.
You got to get a second mortgage to get one.
Yeah.
So that's the name.
Right. Yeah. So that's the next thing. AR-10 version.
Yeah, yep. AR-10 stuff, and then we are working on a cheek rest and riser combo right now that we've kind of got in development, doing some different things to kind of tidy things together. And a big thing is with a lot of the rail systems, people are always worried about optic shift and stuff with a sectional of your handguard and your receiver being separate. And what our system we're trying to kind of branch into maybe is link those two together with a solid piece that can be both an optics riser as well as a cheek rest, and try and get you a more solid mount farther out. It's kind of a direction we're headed down right now as well, kind of bringing those two things in and hoping to be able to show some things off at SHOT Show 24 this year. Okay. All right, cool. Able Defense Mike says, that's the trick for me. I don't entirely want to put my lower into a lower. And then he says, AR-10, maybe the Aero M5E1. You guys familiar with that one? Yeah, we're looking at it. We're trying to make it fit with as many of the AR-10 lowers as we possibly can. Being that everybody's kind of got their own little way of doing it. Every company kind of does it a little bit differently, and there is kind of a spec for the more normal standard, but then everybody kind of does their own dress up on it. So we're kind of trying to fit as many as we can into the unit as possible. Yeah, that was something I think you guys and Walter were talking about before we started. That there's different so there's no mil spec for AR-10. There never is mil spec in the freaking gun world.
If you were going to do, it would be what's his face over in Titusville, Reed Knight. It'd be the Knight's Armament would be the closest thing to a mil spec gun, because that's what the military uses. But you got Armor Lights, you got Knight's Armament, you got the DPMS ones. I ordered some today from a place called Combat Armory. They were blems they was dirt cheap, but they all have different external profiles, slightly different from one another. And that's what makes it hard to try to drop it into something like a one size fits all. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like I said, if you want to bad enough and you have a Dremel, you can make anything fit. But right. A lot of people do not have a license for a Dremel tool.
Yeah, you should have to get one.
I mean, there's a couple things in this world that have to have a license: spandex for chicks, and Dremel tools for deburring, for deburring and doing stuff like that. You should have to have a permit.
How are you going to find out until you actually start using that Dremel? You got to get your experience. You might burn out some stuff.
I have a company called Sten Parts, and we sell Sten stuff, tubes and things like that. And I've heard stories all the time, man. This is my second tube. The first one I messed up, and I'm like, well, you don't learn how to weld on your project. You learn how to weld on scrap. That's one of those. And so many people, Patrick, learn how to weld on their project. So.
He got through. He made it happen. He made it.
Yeah, he made it work. It work. Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to try to figure out how to weld an MP5 kit necessarily. The average person wouldn't do it. But Patrick, he survived. That's just pure bullheadedness. What you see right now from Chromie V, that's where he got it from his papa. So marketing wise, I know you guys mentioned several times that you've gone to SHOT Show. And you're going again next year. Tell me about the marketing side of what you're doing, because you were nowhere related to the gun world, right? You were just, what'd you say, 6th generation dairy farmer? You came up with this idea. How did this marketing stuff get going?
Yeah, so obviously back when you could promote on like Instagram, Facebook, and stuff like that, we were doing paid promotions on there. going to trade shows, like in Minnesota here, we have the soda convention, and just showing it to operators in SWAT and drug task force and stuff like that, along with obviously SHOT Show and any other shows we can get to, just to display it, let people get it in their hands, because obviously it's something that people aren't used to seeing. And a lot of the times people aren't really true believers in it until they actually get it in their hands and feel how comfortable it is and well balanced, and that it's a bullpup with a good trigger.
Yeah. Should we talk about some of the hate that bullpups get at this point?
There's a lot of
There's
it.
a lot
yeah.
of laundry lists for that one.
Yes. Patrick, feel free. You can unload whatever hate you have of bullpups right now. Or Walter, for that matter, whoever, you know.
I don't have, it's not hate per se, it's just a lot of things you see out there are abominations that don't really work well. And no, you know, I mean, some are, as you guys know, you have to if you're doing anything like this, you got to make it look good. If it looks like an abomination, then people won't buy it. They're not going to buy an ugly car. They're not going to marry an ugly girl. Well, maybe, but they will.
Depends on what else she has going on.
Well, you know, that's a whole nother story. But ugly guns don't sell.
Yeah,
you got to make it look nice, and that's this thing.
True.
When I first saw it, I said that looks nice. It looks like it's, you know, it doesn't look like something that was, you know, wasn't thought out very well.
Yeah, I mean, I think weren't we talking about what is it you guys call that thing? A Grozier, the AK version.
Groza, the Russian
Groza. Yeah. So, is that possible to do with this, or you need a different? No, it's not possible. I see Patrick.
No,
shaking
that's an
his
AK.
head.
That's an AK.
Okay.
I mean, I've been threatening to do a Groza for a while. I just haven't got around to doing it. So.
Yeah. Have you guys thought about this? We got 20 seconds. You thought about doing something for the AK world?
Not anytime soon.
Okay.
AK's not on the platforms right now.
AK is not modular.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a break. We're coming right back. We'll see you guys here in a second.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like High Point Firearms and Full Forge Gear, bags and gear for everyday life. Did you know High Point is an American family-owned and operated company located in Ohio with over 30 years of manufacturing experience? High Point is proud to be the home of the working man's gun and your source for affordable handguns and carbines with a lifetime warranty. So when you're in the market, please consider High Point.
All right, so big shout out to Shooting Gallery NE. I see him out there. I say we switch this up a little bit, talk about whatever Walter, Patrick, or Ben and Colton want to talk about, or the folks out there in the chat, whatever you guys want to get into, we can get into now. And of course, if there's questions regarding the SCY, we'll answer those as well. And whatever you guys. So what's on everyone's mind other than Chromie V is throwing a fit? Go ahead,
any
Walt.
chance you guys are going to a Rock Veteran to shoot?
We're not actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there you go. So
I'm
I think. Go ahead, Walt. Mm-hmm.
I said I'm going for the first time. So I have been doing until this year. I have been doing the SHOT Show for like 20 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So we finally let our tables go this year. What are you into law enforcement? By any chance?
Yeah, where's your booth?
Yeah, we'll be in the bottom of the Venetian basement again.
Oh, okay. The basement's where it's at, man. That's
it's fun down there. It's a wild ride.
It seems like all the cool small companies are in the basement.
Yeah, absolutely.
You never saw the basement when it was still looked like a basement. Before they did the upgrades and added the elevators and more lighting, that was a parking garage in the basement. So
okay, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so no, it's not bad down there.
Yeah, PSA used to be in the basement. Palmetto State Armory. Yeah, they're in, lots of big companies started out in the basement. So
it'll be interesting to see who's in our old tables. because I didn't renew for this. I figured I'd had my fill after 20 years, so I'm going to go as a civilian or as a guy walking around being an annoyance to everybody. So.
Not necessarily suitcasing it, as they say, just walking around looking at what's cool
Who,
out there.
Me?
Right?
Me suitcasing it? What are you talking about? Come on, everybody does that. Come on, stop it. Everybody
I mean that's where the action is. I remember when Brandon Herrera was suitcasing that 50 BMG AK or whatever that thing was, man. They kept finding him. Security kept finding him. I remember I was hanging out with him one time when he got caught up with, and then finally I think he had it in a room somewhere. And he was taking people up there, but they figured that out. Yeah. So, and then I forgot which company it is, but one of the companies said, "Hey, we'll put space for you in our booth," and that's how that got worked out. So the thing, let's see, there's some things. Shooting Galleries talking about the IV 8888 thing. Is that something you guys are interested in, but maybe just at this time you don't have like the connections or something? What do you how do you guys?
Yeah, at this point we really don't have a whole lot of connections in the industry. We're still very very new in comparison to everybody else, so we're still paving our way and kind of trudging our way through things. And we didn't come from association with anybody. We just kind of popped up and paved our way on our own. So we're still working our way through the industry and meeting people as we go. And definitely something we'd do in the future for sure. We just haven't had the opportunity come up for us yet.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you're not gun royalty yet.
Build yourself up from the ground and get your product out there. I like that.
Yeah. By the way, if you do want to do something with the Iraq veteran crew, there's a few of us like in my circles that we know them. They're really nice folks, so it's really easy enough to do that if you want to. If you guys want to, go ahead, Walt.
I'd love to.
I didn't have an invite, but I happen to know a couple people, so to speak. Who talk to those guys on a regular basis. So one talked to another and goes, yeah, sure, no problem. They kind of, and I don't know if you guys know my plight. I built a 50 caliber upper for an AR lower, SHTF 50.
Yep.
Back in 18, ATF they decided that was a firearm in 18. So I went up to the palace, the ATF palace, with lawyers, and we talked to them, and it was a waste of time. But the guys that are Iraq veteran know my plight too, so they were interested in that when that was all going down. So,
yeah. What I would say is that, like, so for example, I don't want to speak for everyone out there, right? But there are some people that are really like the gun world. There are people who are easy relatively to connect to. Maybe you just need to know someone who knows someone, but
and then there's the people that are like, yes.
Yeah, there are some people like that. We avoid those people. But I would say the IV 8888 crew, they're really cool. If you're in the industry or you're, let's say, you're like a YouTuber or content creator, something like that, it's easy enough. If you guys want to do that, maybe I'll try to make some connections for you guys offline. And that's why, like, they're specifically doing what they're doing to help get everyone connected. So, yeah, I don't think it's a problem there. And even the Gathering, I think, is working like that as well. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Gathering. That's put on by
I've heard
PSA.
good things about it.
Yeah. And that's basically run by the folks at Palmetto State Armory, but I think they're kind of the same way. They're trying to do like a smaller SHOT Show that the folks can get to, but then also give a break to. There's big companies there as well as small companies. So, that's how that goes. And if we could help, or if someone's out there and you guys could help, I think that's why I do this show. I think we should all help each other. So, that's a good way to go.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, you guys are welcome. Cujo74 says, sorry I'm late. Did you see the E-Transit race van I sent on Instagram? No, I didn't get a chance to look at that yet. But I will look at it. I was talking to Patrick and Walter. I don't know if you got if out of Ben and Colton, if you guys are interested in electric vehicles or not. But me, Walter, and Patrick always argue about this. So
I
That's you're
started
talking
today.
to two hot rodders here. That's bad.
we're
That's
old
bad.
school.
I was driving down the road today, and this really cool Mustang pulled up next to me. Really badass sounding the whole 9 yards. And I took a little clip of it and I sent it to those guys. And I come to find out it was a blonde chick driving it. She was not bad looking either, which is kind of. But then the electric car chat starts. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
I like all kinds of cars. I'm into all kinds of cars.
I think they have their place, but I don't think it's going to be everybody driving them in the next 10, 15 years. But I think they do have their place. I mean, if you're working whatever an hour away and you can just hop in your car and it shoots you to work, and you plug in your car at work and it shoots you home, I mean, that's great. But I mean, lithium batteries pollute to make, and they pollute to dispose of. So
my thing about electric cars that I like has nothing to do necessarily with the environment.
Okay.
From the way I look at it. Now, if you talk to the people who are electric car like big supporters, or the folks who I don't believe that electric cars should get forced on people. I think everything should be capable. It's just like we're talking about bullpups. A lot of guys in the gun world.
It's like forcing bullpups on people. Come on.
Well, no, the gun world's different. A lot of the gun world is no bullpups, right? They say no bullpups, and I think like everything has the right to exist. We just need to, like, right now we've got pressures in America and actually around the world, because America is following Europe and all that, to mandate electric cars, and I think that's kind of wrong. Things should, rise and fall on their own merit, but that's not what people do these days, right? That's how we wind up in this thing. But I just think they're cool. They're really, really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, I work for General Motors by day.
Okay.
So, like, we're seeing a rise in hybrid and obviously fully electric vehicles, and there's a need and a want for them, and for those people, they work great. It's not something I would personally purchase, but I'm old school. I mean, I'm like flathead Fords and inline sixes and that sort of stuff.
Cool.
But,
yeah, 42 Chill says no EVs or bullpups.
I'm an
I
equal
agree with
opportunity.
one of those things.
I'm an equal opportunity gun owner. I like them all.
I like a revolver every now and then. I mean, it's all good. Yeah. So you work for GM. I don't know how much you can actually say. There's a big strike going on. Is that?
I'm in the repair side, not assembly.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you have any thoughts on the strike that's going on right now? The coordinated.
Everybody wants more money, and I mean, it's the way they're going about it. The first phase, they're not putting out all the plants. They're doing it like, hey, we mean business here, but we're not going to shut everything down quite yet. And hopefully that's enough for them to come upon an agreement so they can get the ball rolling on everything again, because a full shutdown wouldn't be good for anything. I mean, economy-wise, industry-wise, and so on. It's definitely not something you want to happen, especially, I mean, if we can't get parts to fix people's cars that are already on the road, that's bad too. I mean,
yeah, it's I on one side, I'm not blaming anyone for trying to get money, like, this is the world that we live in, so why shouldn't those guys get money, right? And we're all dealing with inflation and all the craziness that's going on here. And if you look at it, if you go back to when the auto markets were crashing, when was that? Like back in like 2008 or something like that. These unions took big cuts along with everyone else, right? And so now they're trying to catch up to it. At the same time, you also have this thing going on that we were just talking about, where the Biden administration, for example, is pushing everyone on electric cars. And then they're giving incentives for electric cars and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's throwing everything off, because that's going to be more expensive to make. It's going to take the skills and stuff like that have to come up. So, for example, In this particular electric vehicle race, Tesla's going to just demolish everyone else. It would take a lot of money for the big three auto manufacturers to go back to building electric cars from the ground up. The cars they're putting out right now are just basically internal combustion engine cars that they converted to run on electricity, whereas Tesla learned that lesson a long time ago, and they're building from the ground up electric, so they can control prices, all that kind of stuff. They're way ahead of anyone else when it comes to manufacturing.
And I mean, Tesla, like you said, Tesla started from ground zero, and they did electric vehicles first and foremost. The whole platform's designed around it, and I mean, with electric vehicles, you got to have the weight in the right place. If you're just going to slap a battery pack under the hood of a car, it's not going to be balanced correctly. It's not going to operate how it needs to.
Yeah. Also, it's way more wiring and all that stuff than you need, and it just winds up being ridiculously expensive.
A full electric has never been, for me, I've said this for so long, but full electric has never been my ideal. Like, hybrid to me is you get the best of both worlds. You get a gasoline engine that charges, and then you get, when you're riding the highway, the battery takes over. Like, to me, that is the best of both worlds.
And we have hybrid dialed in, like
pretty well.
Wasn't it Chevy that did the? Isn't it the Volt was perfect? I think the Volt.
Yeah, the Volt was great. I don't know why they ever.
The Volt is an ugly piece of.
Oh, that's not true, Walt. I don't agree with
it's
that.
not pretty, but it worked.
Yeah. Do you know what a big following the Volt has? And they've discontinued it.
They did because they didn't sell enough to keep doing it.
Timing.
You gotta fuck that. You gotta pull the government out. Look. If you want to build, a high. Wait, hang on. This is a good subject of mine. If you want to build a high-speed rail system from here to eternity, if it can support itself, hallelujah.
I agree. Yeah.
But if it can't support itself, I don't want to pay for your boondoggle.
Yes.
I don't want to pay for your. I don't want to pay for your sports stadium. I don't want to pay for your electric cars to be developed with materials that aren't even from this country. Sorry, there ain't none here. I mean, that's not the way it works. The big. Anyways.
Do you know that? Go ahead.
Unfortunately, the push for fully electric vehicles has been a thing of government of California specifically, who can't even. Yeah, their power grid can't even handle fully electric vehicles.
Yeah, it's like, hey, everybody get electric vehicles, but nobody charge their car today.
No,
California grid is the worst grid in America.
The very best part is, and Hank, you can read your newsletter from your electric company, which I did because I get one too. All these greeners and assholes want to take away the coal-powered fire and the gas and natural gas-powered power plants. How are you going to charge these vehicles up with a windmill?
I don't agree.
We're getting into my zone here. Hey, Walter, we're getting into my zone here, and y'all are going to have to excuse me. It's a control thing. Oh, you don't have the power for you to charge your car. You're going to have to stay at home. That's what I've always said.
It's just like this in guns. It's a
y'all had no idea what y'all were getting into here, did you?
Well, so if you look, for example, at Florida produces, I think, like 70% of its electricity from compressed natural gas, and we have a lot of that in America. We have more of that in America than there's oil in Saudi Arabia.
Alone.
Yeah, so and it's cleaner.
Any place that they hold the ground practically to get oil, they hit natural gas.
Yeah.
Hello.
So, listen, anyways, I don't like it if the whole country has to go behind what California is saying, because actually the worst place to drive an electric car is in California. The better place in America to drive one, for example, would be Florida. As crazy as that sounds, right? But that's the reality of what we're dealing with.
We have the ability to make power, yes, but still,
where's the power come from? It's going to come from fossil fuels. Sorry. It's like
it's more efficient to use a gasoline engine to generate power currently than it is to push it down a power line for 52 miles to your door. Yeah. So that's why I've always said that the hybrid is the best of both worlds.
I think for big vehicles,
displacement diesel engine.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at early Volkswagens. I mean, you're getting 40, sometimes into 50 miles to the gallon in a little. I've had many TDI Jettas. And they're amazing vehicles. Do they feel like a toy that you bought in an aisle of Walmart? Yeah, but they get good mileage, and they break once every 300,000 miles. You know.
We had a 2002. Sorry, Walter. We had a 2002 Jetta at one point that my dad owns a body shop, so he had it as like a secondary car for the body shop. 2002 Jetta. It smelled like crayons inside. That glue.
They all do. Every single one.
All of them smell like crayons. But that son of a bitch got 45 miles to the gallon. I could make it from Tampa to Gainesville, which is a 2-hour drive, on less than an eighth of a tank. It was incredible.
Yeah,
I had a TDI.
I had 4 or 5 of them, and I drive them usually till they get to like 350,000 miles, and then I'll let someone else use it. You know.
Over in Europe, they have full-size sedans get 40, 50 miles per gallon diesels. Full-size. We're not talking little Volkswagens. We're not talking little puddle jumpers. We're talking full-size cars.
Diesel.
Yeah,
diesel.
But then people just, like environmentalists, just write off diesels because they think of diesels and they see these big black rolling smoke trucks, you know, that are polluting the environment, when that's not the case. You know, I mean, an efficient running diesel is very clean.
It's always if you care about the environment, okay, if you care, which we all do, we all live on the planet. I think people don't realize like gun guys care more about the environment than a lot of, I mean, I live in the country, just like how you guys live in farm country. I live in farm country, right? This is more nature than where all the Save the Planet people are at. But if you really care about the planet, you would stop like producing new shit. The way to do this is to have something that lasts a long time and use that.
There was a post on some subreddit related to Philadelphia that I saw a couple weeks ago, and this couple was so excited that the city came out and cut a hole in the concrete in front of their apartment and put a tree in. And they show a picture up and down, and it's just concrete. It's insane. But I'm going to drop and come back on the good computer. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Walt, you go for it, Walt. I think you had something.
No, I mean, they did comparisons, and I don't know which electric car it was, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it was the Toyota, the Prius and stuff, where they compared the little bitty diesels you're talking about.
Yep. Normal
size little diesel car, turbo diesel, compared to electric Prius over the time of its whole life, money, everything else. The diesel smoked. It wasn't a diesel. It was a gasoline-powered small car. It smoked the Prius as far as cost. And
if you look at like a Toyota Yaris or Scion made the Scion IQ, which is like the size of a smart car. It's a gasoline engine that you could pull high 40s for miles per gallon, and I mean, you don't have that lithium. I mean, when that battery goes bad, what are you going to do with it?
The batteries are recyclable. They are, like, lithium is recyclable. So
a lot of people can't afford to replace the batteries.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
When you have a
it's not for the poor. It's not for the poor.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
At that point, it's like your handheld electric drill. When the batteries go bad, for the most part, you throw it away.
It's recyclable, though. It is very recyclable.
I don't care about that.
We're coming.
With Armslist, you can shop the extensive list of local and nationwide firearms classified, now with more confidence because of their built-in firewall. For only $6.99 a month for personal use, or $30 a month for business vendors. So when you're in the market, please consider Armslist. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Armslist.
Okay, here we go. We're back. I know we could obviously just keep going on with this. I'll tell you, when you drive an electric car, so like we've had a couple of Teslas. I've had a few electric cars. I got 2 vans right now. That's what I drive, vans. The van I'm in right now, this is a regular internal combustion engine, runs off of gas, and then I have an electric van. I could tell you, I agree with what Patrick was saying. What we need is hybrids for stuff like this, right? Where, you got a little small engine, it kicks on, it charges it up. There are benefits to electric. Like, I drive that electric van. That's my everyday regular runaround thing. Those motors are like immediate power and all that kind of stuff. Very cool to drive. That's undeniable. Is it for everyone? No, nothing's for everyone. That's the thing. Like, people should have choices of what they want, and when you drive those things, you can see that they're better. I could tell you guys, I'll smoke any of you guys in whatever cars you have. With Lola's Tesla. Lola has the most powerful SUV on the planet. It's a Tesla Model X Plaid.
That's not an SUV.
Yep.
That's a.
It's an SUV.
What's a car?
It's an SUV.
My buddy has the normal, whatever the sedan Plaid is, and that 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. It's
nuts.
It hurts.
Yeah. Without a doubt, it haul ass.
It's 3 motors in there. 3 motors.
I drove that Audi you had. Yeah, it was nice. But let me just say one thing, and I'll stop the arguing.
Right.
Roll that both any of those cars into a garage. Shut the door for 40 years.
Right.
Come back. Listen to me. Open the door. That guy finds that garage barn fine. Versus a gasoline car of the same vintage. Which one's going to get running first?
If you the only problem you're going to have with the electric car is
the batteries will be dead. They'll be dead from sitting. Hank, they will. Look at those batteries you got sitting in your shed right now that are all dead.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right.
That's all I'm saying.
It's apocalypse proof. It's apocalypse proof. Okay. So, I mean, anytime we can have the apocalypse.
There's a good chance if that was a diesel vehicle, you could
get it running.
You could squirt a little bit of ether in the intake and crank it, and it'll fire up. I've seen that stuff.
Right.
Diesel engines.
Until the apocalypse, though, listen, I will always have a internal combustion vehicle. I will always have it, but I have to say that electric cars are badass and very cool. I'm looking forward to the Cybertruck. I'm on the list.
Yeah, my buddy's on the list too. He's the one that has that.
And you bastards are gonna want to drive my Cybertruck, by the way.
I will drive it. Yes, I will drive it. I want to see what it's like.
Did you see the one? Did you see the one they wrapped as a F-150?
Yes.
Yeah. I see that. But
Volvo came out with a really neat hybrid lately too.
What's that?
They're new, and they're making I think. What was it? I thought it was in the 700s for power when you have all the motors and the gas engine.
Who is that?
Volvo.
Oh, Volvo. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know where you ever use it. I know that all sounds really good and it's really cool, but you never fucking use it.
I use all 1,030 horsepower of that. I use it. You don't think I use it? Okay.
You drive like Granny. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Sure. You should. Okay. I'm not going to incriminate myself.
I'm going to say this. Remember that everybody wants to make caseless ammo, right? Caseless ammo.
Right.
What is always around still? Brass. Good old brass, and you can't.
Simplicity is always best. Simplicity is genius, without a doubt.
You'll never beat a manual transmission ever.
Cars peaked in the 70s.
Well,
car technology peaked in the late 60s, early 70s.
Listen,
simple machines that you could take. You cannot take a machine like that nowadays and they look great. Yes. Right. Oh. But you can't tinker with them.
A lot of things peaked in the 70s. I mean, let's
go out in the traffic now. Go out in the traffic and look at what Hank calls an SUV. What they call an SUV now. These hatchback 4-door cars.
Everything can't be an old ass Suburban.
No. Everyone. It doesn't matter which manufacturer. They all look the same.
They do.
Tell me they don't.
Oh, that's true. I can't tell the difference between a Ford F-150 or a Toyota Tundra.
Exactly the same.
I can't tell. I'm serious.
The new Colorado is like a copy and paste of a Tacoma. It's
crazy what's going on.
How much they look like.
There's no the folks that design don't do any design work any longer. They just kind of what's everybody else doing?
We'll just pull the headlight a little farther back here and make this wheel well a little taller, and then we'll call it our own.
It's government regulations and aerodynamics.
Lawyers.
Yes, lawyers, aerodynamics. Yeah.
That's why I say cars peaked in the 70s.
But you know what? That's why I love the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck looks like an SUV version of a DeLorean.
The Cybertruck is just,
it's like a DeLorean.
The Cybertruck is like somebody just like straight line, boom.
Yeah, it's just a chunk. It's a chunk. It's awesome. It's sexy as hell. Yeah, that's sexy as hell. That's sexy as hell. All right, let's see what else. Because we'll just keep going if we don't force ourselves.
We gotta stop.
What else is going on? What else is on you guys' minds? Anyone want to talk about anything else? I'll see if the folks out there. I can see people getting.
Hey, they found that F-35.
Oh, they found it.
Did they? I don't know how they lost it in the first place.
Yeah, how they lose it? How do you lose an old? By the way,
how do you lose it?
This is my meme that I threw up. By the way, check it out. I
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was doing the missing milk.
How in the name of all that is holy do you lose an F-35? Someone explain that to me.
Maybe some of those aliens that got captured.
Exactly.
I saw that Mexican alien thing.
That's not real.
Kind of go, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's for tourism.
This is not even a good try. It's like
that's marketing. That's marketing.
What I say, guys,
tourism.
The whole alien thing is a distraction for bigger stuff going on. That's all.
Well, they are. First of all, there are aliens. That's for reals. Let's just hands down. There's aliens. Is that debatable?
I mean,
that's not debatable, right?
Have you ever seen Dennis Rodman before? Of course. I think that's a joke
He's just a freak.
Men in Black.
Yeah. Do you guys? So okay, let's show of hands. Who believes that there are aliens in the universe?
Can I revise that? Who believes there's life out there?
Of course.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, okay.
It's not what you think of when you think of aliens, like little men with the bulb.
It could be a blob of gas with.
Yeah. Any life, right. Any kind of life. Yeah. Any kind of life.
Can I say this? When you remember the Russians have had a space station on and off longer than we ever had, and their Mir space station, one of them, when they decommissioned it and they stopped going up there, on the last trip up there, they found shit growing in that thing that they didn't know what the fuck it was.
Oh yeah, but stuff grow. Yeah, but stuff could grow in the vacuum. Yeah.
They didn't know what that stuff was, and luckily it burned up when it re-entered the atmosphere.
Sure it did. I don't believe that shit for anything.
Well, maybe that's what the Chinese use for COVID.
Have you never heard of the space ice spiders? Have you heard of?
Are they on the Nazi moon base?
Am I the only person who knows about this for real? Like no one else has heard of it. Is. There's like the ice spiders can travel through space because they're frozen. No one's heard of that. Okay, I'm kind of making it up, but I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm sure someone here in the chat tell me if you've ever heard of that. There's a lot of things that can live in space. We don't know how all life got to this planet. The life that we evolved out of here on this planet is probably came from somewhere else.
When life can live in boiling water like it does in the out west at Yellowstone and stuff, it can fucking live anywhere. So,
yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so I don't know what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about the F-35. So you're saying they found it? Where was it? In a lake?
They found debris, I guess, from the F-35.
Where?
I just saw it pop up someplace. I didn't read it.
I would like to know how the government loses track of a F-35. That somebody just
lost.
They don't.
They've still got lost nukes that dropped off. They don't know where they're at. So
okay. Yeah.
There's one around Charleston someplace. Someplace on the East Coast fell in the mud. Yeah, and they've never found it yet.
Yeah, there's dudes out there looking for that nuke. When Biden says that we would need like F-15s and all that kind of stuff and nukes, there's dudes out there who go, you know what? I think we do need that. 100%.
Wouldn't be the worst thing to have.
No. I would totally, if I could afford it, I'll have it. Why not?
I don't want no nukes. I want to have my own air force of drones.
Drones?
Okay. Like 500,000 drones or something like that. That's the next grade
to pick up your house and move it to another state or something? What do you need that many for?
No, I mean for war stuff.
Walter wants to declare his own country. No,
I don't want. No, I don't want none of that responsibility. No. I got 3 or 4 or 5 employees. That's enough responsibility.
I wouldn't mind an F-35. I wouldn't mind it. We're gonna need that frickin' autopilot technology out of a Tesla to fly it, though. I'll tell you that. Yeah, I mean those things are mostly flown by the computers at this point, right?
Probably, yeah, I mean they have they call it. I think they call it mirroring or something like that, where the goggles that the pilot's wearing. I mean, he looks that way, the gun goes that way.
Yeah.
Wherever he looks, that's where the guns are pointed.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of tech stuff I like and stuff, but I still like to hold on the steering wheel. Sorry.
It's not easy to do it in an F-35. Yeah. As badass as an F-35 is supposed to be, ask yourself what happened to this dude that he had to eject out of that thing.
Well, sometimes simple mechanical things go wrong. So
maybe. I was thinking more of like in lines of a James Bond movie where he went to like a health club and there was this hot chick that met him there and then converted him and convinced him to like to actually pretend that it crashed so that Hydra or what's the name of the people in James Bond could come and like steal the plane.
Did you think you were going to get involved with this silliness? Come on.
But that's what I was.
Fabrication.
Tell me you didn't think about that when you heard that they lost this thing. I was like,
I didn't think about that.
Okay.
You know what I always think about first? I think about did the pilot make it out? That's what I think about. So.
Yeah, he did. He did make it out. Yeah, he made it out. How are you the guy who ejected from a plane? That plane is. How far did it go before it crashed? Like. You're supposed to see like, oh, it crashed right over there, right? Or
ejection is pretty violent when they eject.
Yeah, when you get shot out of a plane going that fast, you probably don't know what's going on for the next day or two.
Yeah. So, okay, listen. Let's say someone was asking. There was a question here from someone that I wanted to get to. Basically, I think it was on Bobert. Speaking of going fast.
Oh. Do you want to hear my opinions on that?
No, tell. What do you think? Go ahead.
You see that video of her and the guy in the theater?
Yeah. So I don't know if Ben. I don't know if. So Ben and Colton, you guys aware what's going on with Bobert? You Congresswoman? No. Yeah. So first of all, she's Republican, pro-gun. I like her. She's cool. But I guess she's getting divorced or something like that, and she was in Colorado, and she was out on a date, right? And they went to see Beetlejuice, the play, right? And they were in this play, but I think she kept vaping, and she was being really rowdy.
Recording it, too. She was recording it, too.
Yeah, she was using her phone. Mm-hmm.
And then they were groping each other in their crotch. They were reaching and grabbing each other's crotch.
Yeah,
and it's all being
crotchular areas were getting explored, as well as boobular areas were getting touched up. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but they were disturbing people, and people complained, and boom.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. You don't do that. You're not a high schooler.
Yeah. I think she's like 36 years old.
Yeah, she's a grown-ass adult. Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to begrudge anyone getting horny. I mean, God knows, like, I'm a dude, so I get horny like 10,000 times.
I was going to say, if I had access to those boobies, I would be playing with them too.
Yeah, so...
I'm not married.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that, and I get it. Like, if you're going through all this stuff, you probably... Because she looked like she just needed to, like, let loose or something. But at the same time,
you're in a more responsible manner.
At the same time, you're a congressperson,
Yeah.
And how many? What's the rule? Yeah.
Rule to uphold. Like you need to hold yourself to a little higher standard, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to do that, go out
or put on a disguise.
Or put on a disguise.
Right, that's true. I'm telling you. I don't know how you could. Well, you. I don't know if you could. I could tell those boobies anywhere now.
Oh, me too.
Oh, jeez.
Ain't nothing wrong with them. Walter, if you ever saw them, you'd agree ain't nothing wrong with them.
So here's my thing.
I didn't see that much. Yeah.
How many times do you guys, if you're out in public, right? Like we all go out in public, go to a show or something like that. What is your limit? Like how many times does someone have to come and talk to you when you're out in public before you chill out? What do you guys say? How many times?
Oh, I don't get one. We don't have a. I can't have one talking to. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with Patrick. Yeah. I'm with one. Okay.
There's zero talking tos.
Yeah. Reef Weaponry guys, Ben, Colton, how many times do you need to be spoken to?
I don't have to be called any because I won't be doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, not the being loud part. You know, if you want to grab a little bit, that's different. But you
know. Yeah, Walter. Don't pretend you don't do some grabbing. Okay, Ben and Colton, how many times?
Yeah, one morning maybe.
Yeah.
One morning. Yeah, I grab a maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, Ben.
What? So, elaborate on the question.
So if you're out, let's say, Ben is probably the wild one. I want to dig
myself a hole here.
He's probably the wild one. I could tell from this. So let's say you're out on a date or whatever. You're out in public, right? You're at a play or something like that. How many times does the establishment
have to come? Stop groping your BO.
Yeah. How many times do they have to come up to you before you go, I'm gonna chill or I'm gonna leave? Which, like,
yeah, if they come up, I mean, and I'm causing a disturbance, it's probably either time to leave or calm down. You know.
Yeah. I don't like to be spoken to.
Especially when everybody in the whole country knows who you are. Most people.
Yeah. My business is my business. I don't need to put it in other people's face. You know.
There you go.
Yeah, I do not believe in public displays of affection like that.
Yeah.
When I'm out in public, I'll hold a hand, maybe a little kiss on the cheek.
I'm creepy. I don't even like walking holding Marley's hand. We walk just elbow to or shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. But you
I'm
go
weird,
like
I guess.
No, I think that's normal. Like you don't want to when you're out in public, you shouldn't you just shouldn't make other people feel uncomfortable. You're not home. You're not in a hotel room. You're not in your own privacy. Like I've been to the DMV or something like that, and there's like some young people in there just like swallowing each other's tongues. I'm like, what? Do you guys not have a...
At the DMV?
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of time to waste there. You're sitting around for a long time.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, like, they had to speak to her like I think after the third time they kicked her out. But
how much alcohol was involved?
I don't know. She seemed like she really needed to blow off some steam and stuff like that.
Oh,
I still like her.
Blow something off.
Well, yeah. I still like her. I still think she's cool and all that stuff. I know people are saying like, she should resign. I don't believe all of that.
No, fuck,
that's
nonsense.
That.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's nonsense. I like her in general, and I get it. She needed to have some release. She probably just needs to figure out how to do that in privacy. And then from what I hear...
Y'all know that there's a woman running for Congress out of Virginia who has mommy-daddy porn on the internet. Her and her husband like to doodle each other and put it online.
OnlyFans.
Yes.
Yeah, she's an OnlyFans star.
If she should resign, then that woman should not be eligible to run, I guess.
I'm a libertarian when it comes to that stuff. That's their business.
I would vote for you, but you do what you want.
It just doesn't need to be done. It just doesn't need to doesn't need to get out there. And I heard that her boyfriend is actually like a liberal, like his family and all that's very liberal, blah blah blah. I don't know if that.
Naughty.
Yeah, I don't know if that. Yeah, I don't blame that dude. If I was that dude and I'm seeing Bobert, and she's looking to get some, she's looking to get some strange. I said Bobert. Isn't her name Bobert?
That's Bobert. Yeah, I thought you said Boneberg.
No, you're hearing what you want to hear.
Yeah, probably.
Yes. We'll be right back.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of a DAO, or decentralized autonomous organization like TUSC Crypto. TUSC cryptocurrency is a firearm-friendly e-commerce option for online payment transactions, secured on the blockchain. So when you're in the crypto market, please consider TUSC, TUSC.
So, what is this? Primitive Hunter 18 says you should see what ultrasound rooms are like when the husband is in the room. Laugh out loud. Wife tells me all kinds of stories. Oh, no, you better not be tell. Okay, that's a little, Yeah. Listen, I could be wild here, like if I'm in a video or doing this or something like that, but I'm super introverted when I'm out in public, for the most part.
Oh, me too, dude.
Yeah, yeah. And
I don't
never
even like going out.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't like crowds and all that kind of stuff, but I also don't want to disturb other human beings. When you're out with other people, you need to be respectful to them. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're not in a private place, so you need to. I mean, if you're making other people uncomfortable, I mean, put the shoe on the other foot, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's not fun. Now, Beetlejuice, now I'm actually very interested in seeing Beetlejuice play. It's been a long time. I've seen the movie, and I've seen plays before. Now I want to see Beetlejuice again.
Well, they're making a new movie, too. So.
I don't think that's necessary.
Are they really making a new one?
Yeah. That's probably not necessary.
It'll probably be woke somehow or another. So.
Yeah. Okay, so what other gun stuff is going on? Ben, you could tell us. Patrick, Walter, any other gun stuff going on in the world?
I just found something on the Firearms blog I didn't know about.
Firearms
Knight's Armament has been adopted by the UK's Royal Marines.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the KS-1. Their AR-15 looking gun. Yeah.
Hold on, let me see if I can pull up the Firearms blog here. Does Knight's Armament make a bullpup?
No.
No. Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Their money's in their old school regular rifles. Yeah.
Where the hell is that story? I guess I got to keep going down.
Keep going. A little bit.
Oh, there you go.
Right there.
Oh, Knight's Armament. What are the Royal Marines using? The UK's Royal Marines. What are they using right now?
They're using bullpup.
Yeah. So another bullpup is coming out of the world because of this.
Because it's a terrible gun.
It was
it's a really bad gun.
It was an abortion from the beginning, yeah. And
from the beginning, yeah.
Not because it's a bullpup, because it just wasn't made right. That's why.
Oh, okay. What bullpup are they using? Do you know offhand? The LM something?
No.
It's right on the tip of my tongue.
SA-80.
Oh, SA-80.
Yeah,
okay. SA-80.
They had problems with it for years, and then they contracted with HK.
HK had to come fix it.
Yeah. Okay, so did it still doesn't work? It does work?
It's okay.
Okay. So now that's going to become Knight's Armament.
For the Royal Marines.
Yeah, what are you thinking, Ben? You're saying wow. Is that a good wow or a bad wow?
It's something.
Okay.
Well, one of the problems with it the operating system is like a Armalite 180, but instead of using two guide rods, they ran with one guide rod, and it
single.
Just never really it just operated like an AR-180 really does, which an AR-180 system, if you're familiar with, it's super smooth. You know, it moves really nice on the two.
They took a perfectly good usable gun upper basically. And said, let's see how we can fuck it up really bad.
Yeah, why go with... What was the reason for going... They just went with one on one side or something?
They wanted to cheapen... They tried to cheapen the design for mass production, and you can't. The AR-180 worked great. There's no reason to change it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, so that's good. That's good news for Knight's Armament out there.
Yeah, yeah. Keep those guys busy. Yeah.
Did you guys? We didn't get to talk about this on our 1000th episode. Wyndham Weaponry went out. They're closing down, right? Wyndham.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about it or not. I can't remember. I don't.
No,
think
we didn't.
So.
We didn't. No. Yeah.
What's
the
story
picked up
there?
When probably just the market is flooded. The AR market is,
Yeah, it's not a. I wouldn't.
When you can
want to get into
300. Buy $350 AR-15s.
What's the phrase? It's a race to the bottom.
Yeah. It's funny though. The ARs went super cheap, and the AKs have steadily crept up, and it's like, I don't know. I guess the modularity of the AR-15. I won't say anybody. It's a lot easier to manufacture.
Anyone should be able to make an AR and not fuck it up, but some people have managed. to completely do a terrible, horrible, disgusting job out of building ARs. It's happened.
Yeah.
You know, which you would think, no.
I think that's part of it, probably. Just the market is flooded with AR stuff.
Yeah.
How long do you guys see this going on? I mean, is it a good? Do you think it's a good thing, bad thing? You think it'll be consolidation, or no way of knowing?
Hard to say.
The strong will survive, so to speak. That's one of those things.
Yeah.
And like if you can do something that's different, then you'll be there. And if you're doing the same old M4 that everybody else is doing, I don't know.
I think that's the thing. I think that you eventually you get a little bored. So I remember when I came into the gun world, which was a little bit over 10 years ago. Like what was out there? Everyone was getting what was it? Colts with the big AR. There was several ARs out there.
6940s or 6920s. Everybody wanted that.
Yeah, something like that. But you had several ARs out there. I don't know. I want to say at that time, what was that? Like 2012, 2011, 2012-ish. You had a lot of ARs out there. But then all of a sudden, I remember going to SHOT Show one year, and I got snow blinded by how many ARs were out there.
Well, everybody was on the Hillary Clinton AR plan.
Yeah,
they were going to get they were going to get rich because Hillary was going to get elected.
Yeah. What were you saying, Ben?
We had DPMS up here in the Midwest for a while, but I don't know whatever happened to them.
DPMS got bought by the Freedom Group.
Yeah,
it got brought into that big corporate thing, and because I used to go to the Knob Creek machine gun shoot every 6 months. And DPMS would be at the shoot in Knob Creek. It was great. Lots of parts. You talked to people. You had a face you talked to. When they got bought up and ended up being Remington, basically. It just turned into a corporate mess. I used to buy a lot of parts from them, and it just.
So
he fired back up, and he does Luth AR now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's still Luth AR. Okay.
Yeah, but DPMS now belongs to Palmetto State Armory. Remember, we had the Panther. We had the Panther King on.
They own that brand now. So and they're bringing back a lot of the retro stuff, which is cool. I like that. So
what they're planning.
They were local to us, so a lot of the guys around us still have that. Or that original DPMS stamping, all the retro stuff they're coming back with. Half the guys we know still have it under the DPMS logo. It's cool to see it kind of make a comeback a bit.
Back when in the day, we used to go to Shields, and that was, you would walk into the gun department, and there was just a giant DPMS display there, and that was pretty much the first thing you saw when you walked back there. But
I can remember the days when it was the DPMS Oracle was like the cheapest budget AR getting into it, and that's like the price point the Oracle was back then is like a decent price point for mid-range parts nowadays compared to the bottom dollar buy-in price now that we have.
I remember when I first started doing ARs, $100 for AR lower was the norm. $100 and parts kits were $350, $400 depending on who stole it and put it together from the military. Well, they had a lot back in the day. They had a lot of stuff disappearing out of National Guard armories and stuff, and some of these people that were selling parts were getting their stuff out of Guard armories. But yeah. So now, today I could have bought some AR lowers for $29 a piece. So
it's a totally different game now.
I think the plan from what they were saying to us when they came on is that DPMS is going to be right now you get stuff, you're getting it directly from PSA, right? So you can get it online. You can go to they've got stores I think in South Carolina right now, but the DPMS line is going to be what stores can carry. So you can go to PSA and buy stuff from them, and that would be DPMS stuff, and you can get that direct or for retail, etc. So it's interesting. Is the value of the old school stuff gone up? Is it the same? What do you guys think? You're out there in the source.
Old school stuff is real.
Honestly, stuff, it's hard to say because a lot of guys don't let it go. They it was what was around here, and a lot of guys used to work for them and used to be a part of that, because I mean we're in the same town that they were in, so a lot of guys just used to work it, and they had a kind of a, I think they had a spiel going on that if you every year if you worked the full year, you got something out of the armory. You know, you took a rifle home, that was your yearly bonus. So a lot of guys still have those guns around that they won't get rid of because that was a part of what they did with their life. So honestly, it's hard to say. I don't see a lot of them for sale necessarily just around. There's, I mean, anything and everything else on the stores at gun shops, but definitely not a lot of DPMS. Is very few and far between when I see one locally going up.
Yeah.
I mean, back then, that was like when we were in high school and stuff, when we would get our first AR type of thing coming out of high school, and guys just tend to keep them, you know, whether it be sentimental value or this thing's worked for 10 years, it's going to work another 10 years and probably well beyond that, and they were good rifles, you know, there's no need to get rid of them.
Yeah, it gets passed down. If you're imprinted with that particular logo, just like some people are imprinted with the Colt logo.
Chevy.
Yeah.
Ford.
Yep.
Like some people only buy Fords because Daddy only bought Fords and Granddaddy only bought Fords, and it's
they call them delusional.
Or same thing, Democrat. I've only voted Democrat because my dad voted Democrat. You know, and like,
right.
But
that's the same thing with like Bushmaster, right? So Bushmaster was one of those freedom group. Yeah, the old Bushmaster. Like if I come across something Bushmaster, I buy it. I'll just buy a Bushmaster rifle for no reason if I see it. You know that.
I got a collection of old Ruger Mark Series 22s because that's what I grew up with. Dad always had one anytime we went out, and that's what I shot. So anytime I see one for a fair price, I pick it up. I got too many already, but it's just
you can't have too many now. Yeah,
especially 1022s. They're cheap to shoot, man.
Oh yeah, 1022s are amazing, man. That's like, I don't know how many I have. I bought, because like Barnauls is doing, the lowers. There's a whole bunch of different stuff out there, so that's fun stuff. Okay, I see Walter's. Go ahead.
One of my favorite guns is I just got a bolt action Ruger Precision Rimfire with silencer central. What is it? The Banish 22. And that's, I mean, we shoot it out here at the ranch all the time because it's dead quiet, and they're just a riot to shoot. I mean, they're cheap still. And
it's a fun. Yeah, it's a fun thing. I noticed that Walter has this is one of the pump action 22s.
Yeah.
Now Patrick is now pump action man because he has got a fetish for pump action 22s. But I'm partial.
And Lola shot it on Saturday, and Sunday, whatever day it was, and even she was like, "I see why people love these. They are so much fun."
I mean, you can't go wrong with a pump action 22. It's nice. Yeah.
He got Marley out there shooting because once you get her hooked shooting that, then you can buy more.
Yes.
Oh, it's for the kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. The 1906 is for the baby.
Yeah, he's been running that game for a long time.
Yeah.
He was running that game before Chrome EV was born. Yeah. I'm trying to find the pictures, Patrick, of all three of your collections. Hold on, let me see if I could.
I think I sent it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Go ahead, Walt.
I helped supply that need.
Listen, I'm never going to complain about that.
Yeah, I had something similar to this that was older actually that my dad had, and he took it apart at some point. I don't know when he took it apart. It was always apart as far as I remember, and I showed it to Patrick, and he goes, "I want it." I want it, and it's like,
yeah. So this is the
there's a used car lot and gun sales place here about an hour from us, and it's weird combination. It's a used car lot and firearm sales, and you can trade firearms for guns if you really wanted to. There are cars for guns and guns for cars.
Oh, really? That's just, interesting.
Yeah. It's he's an interesting guy too.
What kind of cars? What kind of cars are we talking?
Well, we're not talking about R8
used
stuff.
Cars.
Come on now.
No, we're not talking about high end stuff. This is a used car lot.
I'm talking like American. Oh, like not American muscle cars and stuff like that.
No.
Oh,
I'm talking like hoopty to drive to work in.
Oh, okay.
Cars,
but the first time I
like
went
a Gremlin,
there, it's just,
1988 Gremlin.
Nothing that cool.
Oh, okay.
No, really, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the first time I went in there, it was just a folding table full of old pump action like that 22 and just a bunch of quirky guns back then. But yeah, it's interesting stuff around here for sure.
It's cool to travel around America and like stop into different gun stores and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, and pawn shops and stuff.
Pawn shops, yeah, you know, and when you get an FFL, you can, which is what I do from time to time, you know, you can stop in, you can actually transfer something directly to yourself, even if you don't have it, you could still buy it,
right,
and get it transferred, depending on where you are and how things work there. So, yeah, that's always fun to do. Are there really any fines, like, you know, I guess, how would I put it? Like, you know how in the car world, there's barn fines in the car world?
Barn fines?
Yeah. Is that there really that left out there for guns, or because of the internet, does everyone know?
That 1906 was a great deal. I paid $300 for that 1906 Winchester, and I thought that was a fantastic deal. They fetch $500 or $600 on the internet. So I was happy with that.
Auction houses around here that have like estate sales and stuff that they'll be firearms at, and you can get really good deals on stuff. But I mean, you have to be checking them on the regular and keep up to date. And they're like here every Sunday. There is in my hometown. There's live auctions, but it's held at a buddy of mine's gun shop actually. So he rents out a big portion of the warehouse for the auction house to come and do that stuff, and like works out good for him because if he's got overstock he wants to get rid of, throw it on the auction, you know. Or like weird stuff that got traded in that's not selling.
The thing that I found is you have to make friends with folks at the gun shop, so they'll text you and be like, "Hey, this just walked in the door." I got lucky. That 1906 Winchester, they told me walked in the door 20 minutes before I purchased it. It hadn't even gone out or anything. The guy came in and put it on consignment and said, $350 is what I'm asking. I'll take $300. And there was a couple things wrong with it, so I got it for the $300. But yeah, knowing guys at gun shops is a great thing because they'll text you and be like, "Hey man, I know you like this sort of gun. It just walked in the door. Do you want it?" It's like, fuck yeah, put that aside. I'll be there in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I've gotten some weird stuff like that. What were you gonna say, Walt?
No. The subject of a gremlin came up, and I'll tell you quickly about a gremlin. Back early 80s, we were buying cars and selling parts and scrapping cars, and my dad bought a Gremlin X, and a Gremlin X had a 304 V8 with a 4-speed transmission. It was like the Gremlin GT, and we ended before I realized what I should have done, we started parting it out, and then it was gone. But that was a running car. This is back when you could give somebody $50, $100 and buy a running car. They weren't pretty, but they ran, you know.
Was it like this red one right here? What color was it?
It was.
Or like this?
It was a green. I think it was a green color that I got.
Like this?
I don't know. It was more like that dark green that was on that other.
Oh, okay.
Darker green, I think. But you say Gremlin, ooh, Gremlin, but that would have been that's a collector car now.
No, it's cool. Yeah. I mean, I just remember, so I went to high school. I graduated high school in 1988. So I remember by the time 1988 rolled around, it was like it was kind of like a hoopty. And at that time, as a kid, I looked at it one way, but now I look at it like, man, that was cool, you know? That was a cool thing. So, no, I wouldn't knock a Gremlin.
A lot of the cars that we scrapped back then, these big 4-door cars, people are buying that stuff now and paying top dollar for
big
some
money.
of the stuff. And I'm like,
big dollars.
Yeah.
I'm like, and a lot of these cars ran. I mean, you drive down through somebody's street and you see a car on the side of the house and grass going around it. You knock on the door and say, "You want to sell that car? I'll give you $100 for it, or $70."
Yeah, but like you said earlier, it's not complicated to get those cars to run. It's not like it had 5 computers.
No, that's it. I'll wait till you get back. Well, no, we got 5 seconds. You could get a kit of wrenches and a screwdriver and fix that entire car.
Yeah.
The Who Moved My Freedom podcast is made possible by our partners at 2A Commerce. Veteran-owned and with over 20 years experience, 2A Commerce is the leader in custom e-commerce and web application development in the shooting sports industry. Clients include major brands such as Guard Dog Body Armor, Sylvan Arms, AccuFire Technologies, The Tactical Games, Warrior Knife Company, and yours truly, Hank Strange. Visit 2A Commerce and support this show by supporting them. Once again, visit the number 2acommerce.com.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid us getting back into cars because I know that's going to get passionate.
Good luck.
I know that's going to get passionate. What's let's ask this to the Reap Weaponry guys here. What's like a cool, obviously you guys do the bullpup thing, right? What's cool guns to you? What do you guys collect? What's something cool you found lately?
There you go.
I really like old Marlins, lever guns, anything of that nature. I'm really into, and anything that's good suppressor holes, pretty much. Like I really like 300 blackout, obviously 22s, and anything of that nature. Anything that's fun to shoot, really, or practical,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got a really big soft spot for old lever guns, whether it be Marlin or any of the other brands. But
okay, is it easy to find? What's Patrick showing? Oh, here we go. Boom.
If you don't have a copy of this,
I don't.
You need to go pick this up. It kind of expensive. It was like $60 or $70, but this will show you.
Where did you get this?
Every
variant
Marlin ever made, all the variants, all the pieces that go to it, everything. Yep. It is the coolest reference book for Marlins. It's awesome.
Yeah. Before like Snapchat and Facebook and stuff started flagging everything. I had a bunch of buddies that just would post their Marlins on Snapchat, like, "Hey, anybody want this? $200." I'm like, "Yup." And then people just kind of got realize that I've been buying them all, so they just start messaging me and be like, "Hey, I got a Marlin." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take it."
Oh, okay, so you got a nice collection then.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of them were they were handed down to these kids, and then they abused them. Like, I had one that the guy Krylon clear-coated over the thing because it started showing age, and then you got to strip the whole thing down to nothing and do it correct, and yeah, I mean, I've hunted with 30-30 as long as I can remember. I just replaced it. I shouldn't say replaced, but I switched over to suppressed 300 blackout this year. But just because it's lighter, more compact, quiet, doesn't beat the crap out of your shoulder nearly as much as an old Marlin. But
yeah, you and Patrick will have something in common in that realm. Then he he likes to find a gun out there that's not 100% and put it back together.
Yeah, it gets a nice rust blue. The picture that Hank showed earlier. Everything on that table is going to get rust blued in the next month or two, and they're not even mine. Not everything on that table is mine. One of them's Walter's, but those are going to be real pretty when I'm done with them.
And then this book, Patrick,
I've never tried any of that bluing.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, I just bought that. I didn't pay that kind of money. I found it at a better price, but
yeah, look at that.
I just bought the reference copy for all the Winchester pump guns, and holy cow, the people, that is the price people are asking for that book, and I didn't pay that.
How many pages in that book? How many is it thick?
It's both volume 1 and volume 2. It's like 600 pages, I think.
Oh, okay.
And so it covers the 1890, the 1906, the Model 61, and the Model 62.
Yeah, for anyone listening, if you're listening on audio, it's the Winchester Slide Action Rifles book, right? By Reg.
Yeah, Winchester Slide Action Rifles is what it's called. And I'm just going to put this out there. It'll get delivered this week, but for anybody listening, I have a half-decent collection of gunsmithing and collector books, the reference materials. If anybody's ever looking for something, let me know, because I have the Colt gunsmithing revolvers, I have the Marlin book, I now have the Winchester pump book. So I got some good stuff, and don't pay $500 for a book. I can take pictures if anybody wants it.
Yeah, and if you have that book out there that you don't need, or you know someone that has that book.
Holy cow! Put it on eBay. Jesus.
Yeah, you might want to digitize it and sell a PDF. So go ahead, Walt.
One of Cujo 74's comments in the chat. Mm-hmm. I grew up in New York City, and I thought all of Georgia was like the Dukes of Hazzard.
Me too. I thought that too.
You really? You thought that?
Yeah, I grew up in New York. I thought all the chicks were walking around in Daisy Dukes and driving, big old muscle cars. It is kind of true. No. It's kind of sort of true. Yeah, I loved the Dukes of Hazzard, man. I thought that was one of my favorite shows when I was growing up. That, what was the other one? The A-Team, A-Team. Yeah, I love that. And Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was real hot,
Yeah, Linda Blair.
Yeah, you gotta throw some Wonder Woman into that. Okay, Colton, what about you? What kind of stuff are you into? What have you found lately?
Yeah, so over the years, I've gotten really into kind of some nicer hunting rifles. I do a lot with Seikos and Husqvarnas and kind of hunting them down and searching them down, kind of fix them up, get them back to kind of what they were, and try and keep them period correct, and get into some of the older optics, the old Redfield Low Pros with the oval lens, get really into some of that stuff, and still what I hunt with to this day. So sticking a lot with that kind of stuff on the background kind of collectibles. So
okay, cool. And what kind of hunting are you doing? Is it mostly related to like the farm and stuff like that, and what would be like pests around there, or how does that work?
Well, I do a lot of whitetail and mule deer between here and we've been in Nebraska, going to South Dakota this year, just doing some out of state, some out west hunting and stuff like that. So yeah, mostly whitetails, and then the rest is all kind of the tactical space and doing AR-15s and that kind of shit to do coyotes, hogs, all of that, and kind of play two cards. I don't deer hunt with an AR. I prefer my nicer rifles and the bigger calibers and stuff for that, and kind of the collectible stuff. Kind of keep it a little old school, but the rest is all fun time.
I have this thing. I don't know if y'all have the same thing, but there's like, because obviously tons of guys want to hunt with, scoped optics and really nice rifles, but there's something about an older wood and steel iron sight gun that it feels...
The nostalgia of it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like leveling the playing field necessarily, but it feels more skillful to use iron sights to take your game. Something about it.
I want to be like Predator out there. Forget that.
Yeah, we
know. No, I get it. It is like you would probably be taking yourself back to how people had to do it, kind of a thing, right? Mm-hmm. Didn't Chris take a deer out on your property, Walt, with a bow and arrow? Let me see if I could find it.
Yeah, archery season's going on down here, so he got a doe this weekend. He did. Yeah, he was out there. Fricky went out Friday night and all day Saturday and came back Saturday night. So he's in Florida. It's still a little bit warm outside, so he's complaining about how hot it was. So.
Yeah, around here we have muzzleloader season and archery season, and then if you go up north a little more, you can get into rifle season. But
yeah, archery just opened up for us here too this last weekend. So
yeah, it'll be archery, muzzleloading, and then like second weekend November, it's gun season opens up all the way till like beginning of January. So
Walter, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I might have to get myself a tag just to go out there.
Well, with the hogs, you don't have to worry about it. You just go.
Good thing I can hit a bunch of hogs and nobody will care.
Yeah, you can shoot as many as you want. So
yeah, it looks like there's a lot of hogs out there from the what was that, night vision stuff or thermal?
Yeah, Chris bought a thermal sight. Yeah.
Okay. 42 Chilled says old guys shoot 1,000 yards with irons.
Very skilled old guys.
Yeah. I mean, I could understand like 300 yards.
Yeah, I'm not quite to the level of wanting to do bow and arrow, but like you came over on the Mayflower or whatever, they would have had a musket and iron sight, so it feels appropriate.
Yeah.
We've been hunting deer
modern
with irons.
bows are a lot different. Forever. I mean, it's
not
stick with the string strung between two ends. It's
a long bow.
They're really impressive machines. I mean,
So you don't have to get as much, because I know with like a regular bow, man, that's some serious. It's
well,
a good
they have
workout.
a relief once you get to the end, you know, and then you can hold it back for a long period of time. But
yeah, you got to get there though.
Yeah, you got to get there. That's for sure. I mean, you got to be able to pull it back, and then you get a rest. But
no, that's cool. I think it is a good skill. It's one of those survival things, like Walter was talking about. You know, that's always going to work in the apocalypse, right? Oh, there we go.
That will too.
Walter showing off the old axe.
do a little Rambo up in the tree and jump on
it. That's so with your hunting, Walter, is that how, like, when you go hunting, how do you do it? You go guns, you go
what I used to do when we went
Bowie knife.
Well, that was catching hogs with dogs, and then once the dogs are on the hog, you don't want to shoot your dog, so your buddy, like my friend Jack, would grab the hind legs of the hog and you go up with a knife and so you dispatch it. Yes. So I mean, but that's I don't know if I can do that now, because that involved a lot of running through the woods like a crazy wild man, chasing after. I mean, it was serious. I mean, you know, because when the dogs catch the hog, all hell breaks loose. You know, so you want to get there, and so the dogs don't get cut up and stuff like that. So you gotta, throw the gun down on the ground and get the knife out. So
it's not as easy as it looks. Remember, we were looking at I forgot her name again. Remember, we were looking at that YouTuber that she went out there to do it, and she for real.
One chick that you love looking at. Oh no.
She went up and I forgot her name. So yeah, I won't get back into that whole thing, but no, she was doing it for real. She was running around the swamps here in Florida after those hogs, and then she went up to it and she was like, she was juking up the hog pretty good. Here's something I was going to ask Colton. You're talking about, or either one of you guys, you're talking about coyotes and everything. Do you guys put up stuff on Instagram with that? I need to go to your, let me see if I can pull up your Instagram.
There's some coyotes up in our place too, Patrick.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
We can bring. Listen, whenever you want to come out, I'll bring the nods. We can all huddle around a campfire and wait for him to come out.
You can't sit around a campfire and wait for him to come out.
Yeah. Okay. So check it out. Here's Reap Weaponries, by the way, for you guys, and I'll give these guys a chance to tell you here in a second how other ways to find it out. Is just spell out Reap Weaponries, all one word, right, guys?
Yep. On all platforms.
So there you go. And there's some real cool configurations of guns that you can see up there. I'll have these guys show us some more stuff here in a second. Have you guys ever heard of, I think it's Amantine? I think I'm saying that properly. He's like he's an Instagram guy. We had him on the show. Let me see if I could pull up his I think it's Amantine. Yes, this guy. This guy gets a lot of freaking coyotes and stuff like that. And he's always posting up what is he like? Yeah, he's got a relatively big following here, but he's always posting really good video of him taking out hogs and all that. Look, see right here. Yeah. So I think he works for farmers like yourself, but you're doing it. You're doing your own stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean we don't. I mean, when we're going out to get rid of them. It's not really. We don't focus on recording or anything like that. We're just going out to get rid of these pests and kind of keep them from wrecking stuff. But
and we do hope to be able to looking to do us a little more with that, and as far as marketing is concerned, and kind of show the use case of the situation and the system for that. It was our first year kind of doing SHOT Show last year, and we were so busy getting stuff ready and trying to figure out what we were getting ourselves into that we never had much of a chance to get out too much towards the tail end of last year. So kind of fell off the horse last year as far as going out too much, and we were we were working every night because we all have our day jobs still, and this is all a dream we're pushing, and we pursue all night and go all night, whatever it takes to get it all done and keep it on track. So we just ran out of time to go out too much and film much last year, so we're hoping this year it's kind of coming up on us quick here, and hoping to be able to get out and do some more of it this year and showcase a little bit more of that and how we go out and how we do it up here.
Yeah,
because it is a different game. There's a big difference between doing hogs down there and coyotes up here in the middle of waist deep snow and trudging and cutting things off and calling, and it's a big different game. There's definitely dog hunters that do coyotes around here too, the same as hogs. But yeah, just a couple different little things here and there. It's kind of fun to see the difference.
Yeah, I think it's good to look at. I enjoy looking at those videos sometimes. It's cool just to see that. Let's show some of the guns again here, just so I've got. What do you guys have sitting right there with you? Let's show off some stuff. And then while we're doing that, for anyone who's looking, just tell the folks out there how they can find out more info from you guys on this stuff.
So here is a jackal on the side, and that's. It's a 13.7.
Yeah, this is a SBR setup with a 13.5-inch jackal that we have set up with our sickle stock system. So just a nice, short, little, simple butt plate. Makes for really simple. A lot of guys like doing obviously the point of a bullpup usually is more barrel, less stock, and some guys just like going nice and short, something different, something wild. The idea was to make it as modular as possible and coming out with the size so people can really build whatever your heart desires. Do something different, do something out of whack that you don't usually see. Was kind of the reason we did it. So this is just kind of a interesting short little system that people really like to see, and obviously the jackal is its own animal, and it's an interesting system. It's fun, and we've got more with there's a lot of different bufferless uppers out there and options to create and kind of go wild.
What other guns you got back there? Let's see.
I've got that thermal set up here.
Yeah, just that one.
That again, it's just a good different kind of the opposite end of the spectrum as far as what you could do. If you wanted to have more options as far as calibers, barrel lengths, different ways to do it, you can stay in a bufferless system or in a buffered system, and just put a shortened buffer system in, but still be able to run all the different cartridges that a multi-cal AR lower is able to handle. We've got a couple guys doing it in 350 Legend, 458 SOCOM, 50 Beowulf. Kind of pushing it to its limits and seeing different combinations, different things. It's kind of fun just to play and make something different that you don't usually see, and everybody kind of wants to one-up each other at the range. So we get a lot of those different interesting builds.
What's your thermal setup there?
This is a Pulsar XP50. Trail 2 is what it was. So that was one I bought here a couple years ago, and still does the job. It's been a great scope for me and does the job. And then I've got a helmet system that I run a iRay MH25 as well in combo.
Okay. All right. Cool. Walt, you want to show off yours here as well? Let's show what you're working on. There you go.
Still got to do something back here. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do back here.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking back there? Or like for Ben and Colton, what are you guys? With folks doing a shorter build like this, what do you often see?
Yeah, so what we have a lot of people doing is throwing like a K&S precision adapter, Picatinny adapter on the back.
Yeah.
It's a really low profile. There's a lot of Picatinny adapters on the market, but K&S is probably the shortest that we've come across. They do a good job keeping it nice and tight. And then we came out with the sickle stock, which is essentially just a slip-on aluminum butt plate that we kind of made a nice aggressive texture that keeps it as short as you possibly can for the guys that want the availability to just make it as sleek and slimline as possible.
Speaking of
is one option we sell.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Same thing.
That's for a different build. That's for the BRN 9. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think in this situation it'll be nice to have something that has a little bit of rubber on it. I think that's like the feedback, right, Patrick? At least from our point of view, put a little bit of padding, a little something back there. Go, Walt.
No. Yeah, I might come up with something on my own back here. I don't know. I got to think about it a little bit. But we'll do something like that. Maybe keeping it tight.
Yeah.
This one doesn't.
That was kind of the idea of leaving it open to the end consumer to be able to pick, what length of pull are you looking for? Because obviously, say look at the AUG, it's one size and that's what you get. And what we wanted to do is leave that open so that you could put in what you needed for your height and what length you needed to be comfortable with the system, and what you were looking for in an end package as far as how short do you want it, how long do you want it, what restrictions are you trying to make. We tried to leave it as modular as possible and not take anything off the table that's already offered with AR-15s.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about the SCY here, that you're going to spawn some invention as well, right? Of people coming up with their own ways to do things, because you're kind of like making the bridge now that people can easily go out there and come up with stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. Is there any I think we were talking about this earlier. Is there any polymer lower that works with this that anyone's seen yet, or just pretty much
not that we're aware of yet?
Okay, all right. That's good to know. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break here coming up, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna get these guys to tell you all how to get in touch with them, as well as
we wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of manufacturers like Safety Harbor Firearms. SHF is a quintessential family-owned small business, totally representative of the American dream. Safety Harbor Firearms is a Florida-based manufacturer of the compact entry stock and the SHTF 50 upper for an AR-15 lower. Also, SHF happily delivers on your Sten gun parts needs. So don't forget to check out stenparts.com and safetyharborfirearms.com.
All right, I cut myself off. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to get Ben and Colton to tell you guys how you can find out more info, get in touch with them, all that kind of stuff. Go for it, guys.
Yeah, all our socials are just Reap Weaponries, all one word, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and then website is just reapweaponries.com.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at reapweaponries@gmail.com. We're on the email every day, making sure we get back to people as much as we can, as fast as we can. Company lines there. If you have any questions, you can get a phone call over to us, and we'll answer anything you got questions on as far as compatibility, or kind of what you're thinking, if it would work or if it wouldn't. And we get a lot of people just kind of curious on things and just want a few questions, we'll answer. So
yeah, absolutely. I think the point for us here, first of all, I know I like bullpups myself and anything in the bullpup range, but I think overall people like to see new folks coming out with things, and it's nice to like actually interface with those folks and get to know them a little bit. So I hope that's what everyone's gotten out of this. There are some really good videos out there already on this, and then we all are going to get together and shoot it and do the video. You know how we usually do it, like everyone, we don't make plans. We shoot the stuff and say whatever we want to and put that out. So, and then we let you guys know what we think about it. So that's coming up. I also want to give Patrick and Walter a chance to tell everyone what they're up to. I know Patrick has got a bunch of videos, especially on his new obsession with pump action 22s, which I actually...
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay, and I actually have one from Henry Rifle that we need to do. Patrick was asking me about it, and it was right here. So, go ahead, though, Patrick. You go. Just tell
YouTube.com/BabyFaceP, Instagram, baby_FaceP. We are... this week I might actually do a video on a takedown, a full disassembly of the Winchester pump gun. I still need to go out this weekend and shoot the Remington Model 11 and make sure that it runs. So hopefully that'll be next week.
Runs better?
Yeah.
Runs better. Yeah.
Yes, right. And Walter is also here. Walter is working on a few projects, including the Reap Weaponries project that we're doing with the SCY.
Yeah, I got to finish that off. Got that BRN 9 thing I got to finish off. Plus, I'm building more uppers at the shop. So, God, I can't even talk. SHTF 50 uppers, 50 cals. Plus, stocks are coming along, MP5, MP5K, all that stuff. That stuff's spinning off the machine. So, and there's stun parts, for all your stun parts needs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see a lot of questions on social media from for Safety Harbor Firearms, like on those 50s. People are looking for them. Go ahead, Walt.
Can I say something about that?
Yes.
If you guys are going to ask questions on Facebook, you're better off just to call.
Yeah.
Because I don't get to that all the time on Facebook. And my wife doesn't like to do business on Facebook because it's not really a place to do bid. But yeah, to call us would be better. You can email us safetyhourfirearms.com. That'll work. And if you have questions, that's a good way to get a hold of us. Or the old-fashioned telephone. Yeah.
Yeah. In the modern age, people like to just reach out on social media, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want an actual timely response, you might want to call.
I do that too. But you know what? Sometimes it's happened before. I don't know if you guys at REAP have had this happen. People do this like page-long email, asking all these questions, and I go yes, no, no, and they get all upset. It's like, well, come on.
They want you to write a treatise.
I don't need to read a. Yes, no, that's right. No, we don't do that. Sorry. It's like, okay. Anyway,
it's tough because, especially when you're a smaller company here, you don't have a ton of people working for you, so it's tough to get stuff manufactured, deal with the business that has to get dealt with at hand, as well as doing everything else. So my advice:
taking out the garbage. Fixing the leaking faucet, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So.
Right, absolutely. My advice is always reach out to these guys if you can. That's why I was asking, everyone to let folks know how you can do that. Did you guys from REAP want to say anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, thanks for having us on. We appreciate you guys having us, come on the podcast and test our stuff out and kind of give us a chance to get a little bit of spotlight just to show what we're doing and what we've been up to. So we genuinely appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks a lot. And I appreciate you guys sending something out, and we like what we see so far. So I do appreciate you guys coming on. If we could help you in some way, let us know. You guys have something cool coming out, let us know as well. We'll get you back on the show, or just help promote it in any way that we can. I know it's tough to build up here when you're doing this. So any way that we can help.
You can have the coolest stuff in the world, but if nobody knows you have that cool stuff,
yep.
Yeah.
and it's not that easy to get everybody to look at your stuff. I mean, I've been doing uppers since 2003, and I used to advertise in firearms news, shotgun news, all that stuff, and I still run into people. Man, I just found your stuff. How long you been doing this? Oh, like 20 years.
Right.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of stuff out there. Okay, so we usually wrap up the show with some words of wisdom. I don't know if anyone wants to step up and volunteer some words of wisdom. Okay, lots of silence. No one's immediately. Oh wow, no one's got some words of wisdom here, huh?
When's the last time you've given us words of wisdom?
Okay, I'll give you guys some words of wisdom. When you're out there in public and you're feeling a little frisky, and you feel like squeezing up some jewels or getting the boobies, felt up a little bit or whatever, think twice. You're out in public. Some things are meant for privacy, right? Yeah, some things are meant for privacy. They're not meant for everyone else. Think about other people when you're out in the world, right? Because, that's what makes us human. We got to think about other folks and whether or not we're making them uncomfortable or blowing, our vape smoke in their face or whatever it is, That is the thing. I would just say think about your fellow man. That goes a long way. In my opinion. So there you go. That's my words of wisdom. You got something to add now? Go ahead.
Remember, comes around, goes around. You don't like it when you don't want to be treated like you want to be treated, right? And you want to treat other people the same way,
I think that means that I'm going to be squeezing boobies because
exactly.
That's the same way.
Exactly. Yeah, well, you just counteracted everything that I just said.
I'll be squeezing all the boobies because that's how I want to be treated.
Yeah, everybody wants their boobies squeezed. Why not? All right, listen. Big thanks to Ben and Colton from Weaponries, as well as Walter from Safety Harbor Firearms and BabyFace P. You guys stay right there. We're out of here. We'll see you guys next week. Let me make sure that I hit all the appropriate buttons on this. Right now, we're out. Peace.
Oh, that's what it's talking about.